What are your name and pronouns?
Hi, my name's Amaya.
My name is Aya.
My name is Ducky.
My name is Iris Damon.
My name is Semi or Fairy Semi.
Hi, I'm Float Whimsical.
My name is Trixie.
My name is Hero Girl. I'm Kira Mockingbird.
My name is Lila Morningstar.
My name? Masatato.
My name is Mayumi Macha.
My name is Mismatched Mimic.
My name is Mucifer.
I'm Nethier.
I'm Lady Nice Girl.
My name is Sylvia Formborn.
I go by Odyssey Eurobeat.
My name is Ori.
Usually that people refer to me as Real.
My name is Rika Reitman.
It's Sharon.
My name is Togo Moose.
I'm Tommy.
My name is Rex.
My name is Violet.
I am Void.
My name is Zag, Queen of Chaos.
My name is The Awkward Dork.
My name is Tessa.
My name is Diamond Dust.
I go by Dan Kare on here.
My name is Cam.
Penny Larvana.
My name is Zephyr Zen, and my pronouns are he, him.
My pronouns are they, them.
She, her.
He, they.
They, she.
He, they.
She, her.
She, her.
She, they.
He, they, pup, and it.
She, her.
She, they.
He, him.
He, him, but I also use the new pronouns Tato and Tato self.
She, her.
They, them.
My pronouns are she, her.
She, her, and they, them.
She, her pronouns.
She, her.
She, her.
They, them, and flurs.
She, her pronouns, but they, them is also.
They, he.
She, her.
And I use she, they pronouns.
She, they.
And I go by they, them pronouns.
So she, they.
I go by she, her.
I go by she, her.
She, her. Changes depending on which model I'm feeling at the time, basically.
She, they.
She, him.
My pronouns are literally any, like she, he, they. I do not care.
And how do you identify?
I mostly just vibing with like the general non-binary label. Gender fluid, I suppose, is the closest.
I identify as genderqueer. I identify as kind of, quote, all of the above in, I guess, an interesting way, in my opinion. Like, my gender feels weird.
I think I'm very flux with it. I am transmasc.
I identify as a trans femme. I try to avoid specifically using the term trans woman that often.
I mostly identify with demi-boy because I feel both masculine and agender at the same time. My gender expression is pretty fluid though, not because it's not related to my gender.
I identify as non-binary, mostly femme-presenting.
Gender fluid.
I identify as demigirl.
Feminine, gender fluid.
I identify as non-binary.
Trans femme.
I identify as a demi-boy.
Currently, I actually identify as non-binary.
I honestly just identify as a woman. I don't tend to use any other words in any other context. If it's relevant like this, make an exception. But in general, I try not to draw too much attention to things. But you know.
I am a trans man.
I am non-binary.
Trans. I'm trans. I mean, look at my model. I am a walking trans flag.
I am a trans woman.
I identify as trans femme.
I'm a trans man.
So my main identifier is gender fluid. I also consider myself non-binary.
Like, to me, I'm just me. Like, I identify as me. But then, I guess if I had to put a label on it, I would say, like, trans feminine.
I am a trans woman.
I identify as two-spirit. In, more common language, you're probably just, transgender woman. My gender identity is very, very rooted in the culture I come from.
A woman.
Genderqueer, but I guess for like more details, it's like I'm a lesbian, but I'm also like either very hyper femme lesbian or like very like strange butch creature stud thing.
Oh, yes, trans femme.
Identify as a male.
I identify as a woman. I'm trans.
I'm a transgender woman. Also, I am intersex.
Quantum gender, has a little bit of history to it.
It depends on the day. So mostly it's like identify like feminine. But like on certain days, I guess just whenever I'm feeling it, I'm just Penny.
Penny, yeah. I'm just Penny.
Yeah, I'm just Penny. Hello.
Yeah. And how do you identify?
With a magnifying glass.
Understandable.
It's usually the little icon that the game provides you. Usually there's a little prompt.
Oh, okay. How did you ensure that your model represented you?
So I actually went through a lot of incarnations before I even started, streaming and stuff. Because I read a lot of things that said like, oh, don't spend a lot of money before like you do it. Like, just make sure, just start doing it. But my thing is like, I wanted it to be cohesive. I wanted it to be easy to draw. I wanted it to be eye-catching. So when I first started, I did something pretty lazy. My first incarnation was just like, kind of a edgy little gamer guy in like a sweater. And then I was like, that doesn't really represent me, because my fashion, I'm very into alt fashion. And I'm very into, visual kei sort of stuff.
In the first case, when I first requested art of it, the way that I sent it was to an artist named Mo. He does amazing work. He's been drawing, like he's a friend of mine and many of my other friends too. And, every once in a while I would commission him. And I included not just the actual like Amazon links for what I was wearing at the time, but actually, the pictures that I took. So he drew essentially based on me, like based on, several reference pictures and the actual garments, the actual pieces.
I did make my model an idealized version of myself. The proportions, I have the same marks and scars, close to my real self. I have top surgery scars.
Oh, that's really cool. I know somebody else that also did that kind of little detail. I think that's pretty neat. And so what drew you to VTubing, and do you find it rewarding?
What drew me to VTubing is that I've always been an artist. I've been drawing since I was maybe 10 years old. For me, it's something that I already knew how to do, like making VTuber models, the techniques that you use in that. It's the same techniques you use for cutout animation for like TV. I was working in the animation industry with that exact thing. So I was like, oh, great, another way for me to express myself. And maybe I can like start making content too. Which, if you're an artist nowadays on the internet, you have to make content as well.
So my first experience seeing VTubing was, like for a lot of people, Kizuna I did not get it at all. It wasn't till later seeing the English HoloLive people that I got a bit more of an idea of the real wholesome conversations that can go on in there. And even then, it wasn't actually till I just randomly came across somebody on my Steam friends list, VTubing, who was a trans woman. Just seeing her express herself through that it finally clicked what this meant.
Actually, one of my partners has been doing VTubing for ages now. I got interested watching her do it, so I wanted to mess around with it. And eventually just made a 3D tuber on Vroid. I just kind of enjoyed entertaining. I've always enjoyed entertaining. I've always enjoyed telling stories.
So I actually didn't know VTubing existed until I think right before the plague happened. I was in college and I was like, oh, well, I want to get back into streaming because for a short while I did faceless mixer streaming. Well, I want to stream again. I could do Twitch. My friend streams on Twitch, but I don't want to be a face cam streamer, so I'd have to go faceless. And then my friend goes, hey, this is this person called Ishi Tanuki. They're called a VTuber. I'm like, my time has come.
When a friend sent me a few clips of different VTubers, specifically like Gura, and I just thought the idea was really cool to represent yourself through these characters, through your character or any character, rather than the traditional streaming with like a camera. It allows me to be more of myself than what I physically am.
Can you share some of the highs and lows of your journey being transgender or gender nonconforming in the VTubing space?
So one thing that I run into pretty frequently is because I am so presenting is honestly, it doesn't seem like most of the time I'm recognized as non-binary. Like where you run into that problem of people will default and they only ever refer to you with, feminine pronouns, which is usually fine for me because, I've always identified more feminine, but it does feel very strange, especially when I'm like explicit about being non-binary, to only have that. I've only had a handful of people that I've met who have gone out of their way to use they, them with me or go out of their way to acknowledge that I'm non-binary.
The thing is like I probably don't really have anything that really sticks out from the occasional just look, it's a guy with makeup, typical like, oh, I'm so glad you could come up with a creative insult. Oh, is it bad that I feel like, come on, get a little more creative than this? Like, I've heard this one a few times.
I'm trying to think of a high note that happened recently. I think before just the love and support like my community give me. Whenever I first came out, everyone was really, really supportive, and it's been a nice little journey with everyone.
Highs, I guess I get to represent myself the way I want to. Through my model, through the way I talk and everything. And I people are still gonna misgender me, of course, because of my voice. But it hasn't happened yet, so that's nice. But in general, people not being accepting is one of the big things we have to deal with, of course. Yeah, it's not fun.
For me, it's been pretty smooth. I don't know how, but somehow I've avoided having I've never been hate rated yet. Yeah, I've not had any of that so far, and somehow I've set up preparations for it. Like, I have a little button on my stream deck that turns sub-only mode on. So the button's gone completely untouched.
The highest high was the coming out video I did. It didn't get like super viral, but at the time it was my highest watched video. It's now like 1,600 views, and like it has only supportive comments on it. It's like crazy. I've started getting negative comments was on a new channel I made, which is LGBTQ focused. And there from time to time I get like weird comments, which I just delete. Like, honestly, they don't even get to me. It's like, whatever.
So the highs of being a VTuber, which I tend to find personalized of me, is that I can represent who I want to be, how I want to be perceived online very, very easily. I have made so many wonderful friends and communities, and I've met so many wonderful people through being just a VTuber alone, that I probably wouldn't be where I am today without them. I wouldn't be this far in my journey. I wouldn't be this far more extroverted. I was a very big introvert before being a VTuber, and without the friends I've made here being a VTuber, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Then would you say that VTubing has helped you discover more about yourself?
I think VTubing for me has been a very good outlet for different parts of myself that I never really showed publicly. It was always known, I guess, in private circles, and I would never shy away from discussions about my sexuality or identity. But I think VTubing specifically allowed me to open up on those two things more broadly.
Yeah, for sure. Because when I started my VTubing journey, at the same time, I was also experimenting with gyaro fashion, and it was so much. And I was like, oh my fucking God, like, I'm scared. Like, what is all this power at my fingertips? I was scared. And I think it's honestly helped me get in touch with my femininity. Because I told you, like earlier, Black women are really awarded that option to be cute, to be feminine. And it's like weird for like women to be pink for some reason as a Black woman. And I'm like, well, no, Black girls deserve to be cute. And I think Black women in alternative fashion get a lot of for just existing in the alternative fashion space. And it sucks.
I was very maybe insecure isn't quite the right word, but it's pretty close. Like, I was very dry humored and sarcastic and standoffish. That's why I created a character, my VTuber avatar, because then it was like, okay, it's not that I'm being like this and it feels unnatural. It's that I'm acting like something else.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Like I said before, I had a really dark period of my life. Like, I just lost my mom and everything when I started VTubing. Getting into that, it gave me a place to be safe. It gave me community and friends that I got to make that really held me together.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I get to, express myself through my character. I get to add more of me to it, and I get to, discover things that I like, that I can transfer onto myself too.
Through VTubing, it feels like you just are given a blank canvas to express yourself and be whoever you want to try being. Put on a different mask every other day and see if it fits well, right?
What would you say to somebody who was looking at VTubing as an option to being their truest self in content creation? Is there anything that you want to say to them?
I would ask them why. Before I give any sort of advice, I want to know the why of how come they're looking at VTubing, how come they're looking at streaming. Any advice that I could give is going to be predicated on what you want as a VTuber, as a streamer, as an artist.
Like the big boom in popularity for VTubing has been really great for trans people because it gives us that option to present the version of ourselves that we want to see to everyone else.
I've had quite a few positive experiences, mostly some people will actually like your model, even if you don't think that your model is perfect. There are some people who think that your model is absolutely amazing.
Now what you need to do is you need to really go on a personal journey and identify what you want to present as, and maybe commission a character sheet. But that'll give you a couple, like you're getting concept art for game creation, that gives you a couple different things you can look through and see which one you really vibe with.
Go with whatever feels comfortable, but also don't be afraid to change it if it doesn't feel right.
Say if you get a model or PNG and you change it every month or so, and people are like, why are you changing it so often? No, it doesn't matter. You need to find you, and whoever you are the best.
So I think the biggest thing that I want people to take away is mainly that enjoying the act of creating things and also able to handle failure. If you're able to handle failure and learn from it and embrace failure as well and not wait to do a bunch of things and you just kind of do it, it's okay for things to be half-assed.
I can't remember who said it, but it was something along the lines of people are their truest selves when they're behind a mask or something like that. And I think that's absolutely applicable to VTuber spaces. I think that people can be their truest self behind an avatar of some kind, behind a metaphorical mask.
You're not broken. You're still you. A lot of people just have to catch up to that mindset.
If you want to enjoy it, you have to put in the effort to make it enjoyable. You have to pick the right people to be with. Otherwise, your time in VTubing can be short.
Be a character that you want to be. If that feels right to you, go for it. If that's the best way to really, express yourself, right? And it goes for trans people as well. It goes for non-binary folks. It goes for, aliens or other kin and stuff like that. So it goes for anyone, really. For some people, it might mean a lot to them.
There's plenty of spaces where you can just try, be yourself. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. It's not for everyone. It's something you have to be comfortable with. But in the end, it can be really rewarding and really fun.
Just unapologetically be yourself. The great thing about VTubing is that you can put forth this ideal version of yourself, right? It's who you want to be, who you see yourself. Regardless of body type or shape or what kind of clothes you have in your actual closet, present yourself in a way that is how you see yourself in your head.